Hello, welcome to Pakebi TV. In this video, I will explain what philosophy is. For those who might not have much time, I will summarize the main point. The content of this video can be summed up in the following sentence. Philosophy is thinking about thinking. A slightly more complex way of stating it is, philosophy is critical reflection on fundamental assumptions. Now, let's go into a bit more detail. What is philosophy? The simplest and easiest answer is philosophy is thinking about thinking. It might be difficult to explain precisely with words, so it might be easier to understand if I draw it. It goes like this. In philosophy, which is thinking about thinking, there are two parts. The first is this much of everyday thinking. Then there is this much of philosophical thinking. In particular, philosophy refers to this part. Why think about thinking? The idea is to think differently and find different answers. And what you find then is a better answer. Let's take an example. Many people worry about how should I live to be happy? This is a problem. A common answer to this is you have to earn a lot of money. This is everyday thinking. Now we think about this entire thought. What does it mean to be happy? Or is money really a condition for happiness? These are the thoughts we have. This thought is exactly philosophy. And then we find a new answer. True happiness is blah blah blah. This becomes the philosophy of happiness. Sounds plausible, right? At this point, you have pretty much understood what philosophy is. Philosophy is thinking about thoughts. That's simple and easy. But philosophy is difficult. Why is that? Simply put, it's because thoughts get mixed and cause confusion. Let's look at this diagram again. There are two types of thinking here. Everyday thinking and philosophical thinking. But both types of thinking are in one place. That is, we have to have two different thoughts in one place, our own mind. It's confusing, so it gets difficult. Moreover, philosophy is thinking about thoughts themselves. Is that possible? It's difficult. So, philosophy is thinking about a part of thinking. So, what part of thinking should we think about? It might seem like a foolish answer, but the answer is as follows. Philosophy must think about the important parts of thought. What kind of thought is that? It is the hidden thought that determines all everyday thinking. It is a fundamental thought. Philosophers call it assumption. It is often also called way of thinking. Let's summarize for a moment. First, what is philosophy? It is rethinking our assumptions. Here, rethinking means to examine whether this is right or wrong or why it is right. Scholars call this critical reflection. Now, we know that philosophy is a critical reflection on life. But why would we reflect on life by thinking about thought? Shouldn't we be reflecting on actions, not thoughts? But in reality, life is made of thoughts. Will my lover love me or not? This is very important in life. But this is a matter of thought. Will Kim Jong-un in North Korea really give up nuclear development Or is he trying to lie? This is also a matter of thought. Of course, life is not entirely made up of thoughts, but it is clear that thought is a very large part of life. Therefore, by reflecting on thought, we end up reflecting on life. Good. Philosophy is rethinking about thoughts. Is it good enough just with this reflection? Not quite. Through philosophical reflection, we find new thoughts. That is to say, this. This can be referred to as the achievement of philosophy. And with this new way of thinking, we live our lives better. It can be depicted in a picture like this. Let's take a simple example of this philosophical thought process. Let's do it through a puzzle. Here are 6 matchsticks. How would you arrange them to create 4 equilateral triangles? This is the puzzle. Thinking about the answer initially isn't easy. Once you create an equilateral triangle with 3 matchsticks, it takes 2 more to create a new triangle. Then you are left with only 1. How can you make all 4 equilateral triangles? The answer is as follows. In this solution, we can see that the matchsticks are arranged in 3 dimensions. However, this is something we don't think about when trying to solve the puzzle. We typically try to arrange the matchsticks on a flat plane initially. This is an unnecessary and sometimes incorrect assumption. The problem doesn't specify that the matchsticks have to be arranged in a plane. To overcome this incorrect assumption, we reconsider the problem. Then we find a new solution. This can be summarized in a diagram like this. Initially, the aim is to create 4 triangles. This corresponds to everyday thinking. Next, we think about the problem itself. This is because the problem isn't getting solved well. Then we find a new way of thinking. Finally, we return to reality and solve the problem more effectively. So far, I have explained what is philosophy in a simple way. There is much more to explain about this, but I will discuss it in more detail in another videos. Thank you for watching. If it was helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button once. Thank you again.